So in this way, continuing with the supplication prayer, and then chant the Guru Yoga practice just over and over. So when we just carry through the Dharma practice, then one should not expect the result, instantly, that one might could have some experience or realization. It is just always need to have some patience to go for a long way to have the result.
Maso Nitani County, shake you. Don't shoot to me, shake you. Data of Carba Tome Batini, Tajipadu, Covandela, Miku at you, Kona Shelley, Nato Dundu Batini, Lanson didn't cheat it to let along some Debatole, to be taught you want to have the Calacabore.
So it is just because many countless years, lifetime, that how we born in this world and then die, and in that way just countless eons lifetime through which we accumulate all these 10 non-virtuous action constantly, and it is just very little that we could accumulate anything virtuous or the merit. So that is why just doing a little bit practice instantly could have some realization or some result. It is maybe just a bit difficult.
Tiba Kongoji don it, that's on my doji tiba. He non it on the Dobachi, Yanatangila. Young Kabashali message Juna, Konda Ombo Rab, Tanji, Lawson Shosum. The name on a lot to logo. Tana on message Ndurson to your Delcoron, Niense Titul Coron Juba City, let's say, of a catcher, Dare.
So, but still, the possibilities in general based on this, the Hinayana or Mahayana, and especially in the Mahayana like a Vajrayana, and according to like a Dzogchen practice, where there is the possibility that if one carry through practice properly, with the continuity, then maybe even just, within 3 years, one could have realization. Even not then, maybe 6 years or 9 years, or at least, one lifetime. So those, practice that which we do is not just like a 1 month retreat and then you have all those kind of realization. It is like days and nights constantly carrying through the practice, and then within one lifetime, according to the Dzogchen practice, one could have that ultimate realization.
Number trouble, number hinge trouble, Dubinagas, Melo Chusonlet, Trouble, Janitan, and Matan Bashi trouble, no only unit. Pushing Tan Matri Bashele, Melo Chusonlet to number.
So, such as like all these great masters, how they carry through this practice to have all this realization within a short period of time. For example, like that great scholar Lama Penor Rinpoche, that when he carried through the wrathful Manjushri practice, the Shinjishe, then just days and night that inside the cave, and not even just a moment. He didn't come out of the cave, and even his, just cloth, the belt, just for 13 years, he never just, rewear it, constantly getting through that practice for 13 years, and then have all those kind of accomplishment. So until one could have the realization, not just only kind of developing the realization, but still there is a way how one can develop one's power of the strength of that practice. So we, when we do little bit practice and have some little bit of experience, then instantly thinking, oh, now I'm maybe just almost enlightened, and maybe not like that.
When salam toyalo be masi kale yore sa tombone sa chuji partele on te yendo yonle nyalen sele ya logu yore.
So even to have the realization of the first level of Bodhisattva, the first bhumi, of course, there is a difficulty that where we need to work very hard. Even after that, like from first bhumi till to 10th, that where you have to develop all your realization and then the qualities, according to each bhumi. So relating with all this kind of educating oneself with the Dharma and spiritual path, that one should not really have that kind of contentment. In that way, without having content or that satisfaction in these spiritual path, and when one continues, then there is the way one can develop or progress one's experiences and then the realization. And for a little bit of just experience of practice or having a little bit knowledge, and if one think, oh, now I may be just something very great, then that is just the ego or the pride. It is not the just power of the Dharma. Based on this Dharma practice, if one have this kind of pride or ego, then it is not really developing your Dharma practice, but it is getting worse. So how much one could to understand, how much one could to have practice and experience, and that much one need to have more effort and to working harder, and there is no any satisfaction just in that way. So as one carry through this practice, and then there are certain just level where you could really feel and experience that now you are just really independent, where you really feel that kind of freedom. So then just one's practice is really getting just good. Otherwise oneself just creating or imagining, oh, now I'm just great or liberated, that way just one may not really have that realization.
When the
even all these past masters, whoever these who have this kind of realization, every single one of them, they really contemplate on like a, just a precious human rebirth and impermanence and uncertain death, and then, just spending their whole lifetime, getting through practice. So in this way, when one carry through all this practice, then there are also just said that, in the beginning where you are scared of the death, and then based on that, you just ran into the, forest or in the mountains to carry through practice. And then after a while, you have this realization that all those fears and frightening thoughts are just kind of, disappeared. So as one carry through practice constantly in that way, then of course, depending upon one's practice, one could have in the beginning maybe like a defiled, clairvoyance, but those are not very stable, not just firm. It can also be lost or disappear. And then one continue with all this practice, then after some time one could have undefiled clairvoyance, and then so forth, where you can just really know and understand, just in of the future, where you are going to attain enlightenment and who are going to attain and what sorts of life and so forth, everything that one could just really understand all about the future.
Tere mazo no so deka me sorry here ma ta song phate je sasayo ma song je edu si trigger sit den rajigi oyong maros.
So that way, just one have to really have all those experiences. It is not like that in the West. There are people who say, now I'm almost enlightened, and do you think so that I'm enlightened?
Some did it also, not change it also in the non jail. We had some jail, Salam told them, Kaki Hakogram, military.
So when one just really have the enlightenment or the realization, of course, oneself will know everything, and there is no any point to just ask somebody whether I'm enlightened or not. So when even the bodhisattvas, when they have certain level of realization, that through their realization they could transform that material things into non-material, and or non-material just kind of empty, they can just transform into like a material things, and their body just become like a illusion that they can walk through the walls or into the rocks, and they can just do anything, and they really know just what is their realization. For even they can fly in the sky, and is such kind of qualities. So not only just in Buddhism that these kind of like a defiled miracle activities, that even in non-Buddhists such as like Hindus also that have all this kind of quality. So that even just somebody really fly in the sky or do all this kind of miracle, it is nothing really to just surprise.
Kirukama Melo Justunle, Senten Yedita Kadasene, Toncher Kadan, the Gekushi, Melo Justunle Paris.
For example, like the great Karma Chame, who carried through all this, practice, and then wandering into the, just the people's home, just constantly benefiting for 13 years.
Then,
and then one time he went in, Eastern Tibet, place called, Gongcho Tiwang.
The Chamer Mochi, the Tiron, Megapodion, Ya Chamer Modi, Tacheron, September, Duzan, Desana, Zutu Tanguris. Zutu Yabot, then I didn't mean to Pendu, did it about almost shaking when Lama Nisun to Don Latino, Zutu, that thought on Mumbo, then men out on the bed, Tevas, Mumundo, Tacheron, Zutu Tanguredo, then Colman Mumundo, Duzayabo Jigger.
So when he just arrived in that, Gongcho area, just of course he's giving teaching, but they requested, that just Kamachame Rinpoche, you should just perform some kind of miracles, and if you do all these kind of miracles and kind of expressing clear points, then people really just get excited, and then you could have lots and lots of disciples. And even like previous time, there are one or two masters who did all this miracle, and then just naturally just have lots of students. That way you can also benefit other beings. So Chame Rinpoche said that I don't have anything that I can do any kind of miracles. And clairvoyants, like even these just crows and ravens, they also have little bit of those things. It is nothing surprising. And also that just where you can squeeze the stones, and then the irons can be just with hand make notes. That even if you practice some kind of spirit called Tevrang, you can also have that kind of accomplishment. These all are nothing just surprising or wonderful. And he said that just myself, the most greatest miracle is that just I maintaining my this external vow, Pratimoksha vow, just the monks, fully ordained monks vow, which is very just very precious, that even a tiny bit of it been not damaged, just maintaining that. This is what I think the greatest miracle. And then he said that whatever that the generating bodhicitta, the bodhicitta that practice which I just really constantly carry through practice, and this is the the greatest miracle that I could really do. And to those people that were this Kamachame Rinpoche just gave some like a teaching or advice in that way, there were about 1 page. And that great master Karma Chame, that who was a very great scholar and also one has all this, just accomplishment, that the miracles and so forth, a great bodhisattva. And Karma Chama Rinpoche's, just composition based on that Nyingma and Kaju's, kind of commentaries, explanation, maybe about 100 volumes. Now maybe just many of them were destroyed by the communists, but still there were about 60 volumes. So like that kind of great master, but benefiting sentient being through giving all this Dharma teaching, but people just think like making miracles is more important. And when just there is kind of like a power or miracle performance, and then they think, oh, that must be something very great. So mainly that just where we try to mingle or mix our mind stream with the Dharma teaching, and then also just generating bodhicitta, and then to keep the moral conduct or the words of honor, just very pure. That is, I think, it is the great miracle. So this is what our miracle is. So although you all are just working hard, doing practice, but still there is no any satisfaction.
Thank you. Oh yeah. Yeah, so today no any class have any teachings or instructions, so you can just go by yourself and carry through practice. Oh yeah.